Hello, have I got a treat for you today? Firstly, we have a family gathering at St Nicholas's Church Barn in Warndon, and it took place last Sunday. And I think there was approximately 27-30 people met up from all walks of the UK, Nottingham, Surrey, Yorkshire, and the West Midlands and Worcestershire. And we all got together, brought some food, had a buffet, and had a nice time because the weather was lovely. Now, I just thought I'd tell you about St Nicholas. It says, the actual church, it says the parish church was built in the 12th century, then altered in the late 14th century. In the 15th, and then in the 15th century, a timber frame tower was added. It's a fine example of a church that has been left untouched by any later Victorian restoration or alterations. And we went into the adjacent barn area and had a nice little gathering there. And then today I move on to showing you a wedding in Slane in Ireland. I didn't go, my son was invited, and just a bit of a snippet there. He whizzes through and he's been able to show you some footage. He sent it to me today. But I just thought I'd give you a bit about that. So let me just give that. So the Millhouse in County Meath, Slane, is in Ireland. You can fly to Dublin and then you go to the venue. And it says, "Welcome to the beautiful Millhouse in Slane. We are a private historical venue that offers a range of luxurious exclusive experiences. We host both intimate and large bespoke weddings, private parties and gatherings, luxury corporate and wellness retreats, hen parties, family reunions, afternoon tea, and group accommodation bookings." And the website, I urge you to have a look, because it says the Millhouse team love to assist you with your wedding planning to ensure that every detail is taken care of. And it goes on to say the Millhouse offers both rustic and beautifully renovated spaces around the estate to take breathtaking pictures and take a tour to see more. And I'm just reading off my phone. There's an actual video on the website itself, and gives you an idea of what you can expect if you book that particular venue. I love the Millhouse. I mean, absolutely gorgeous to be able to see the brickwork within the mill. So I'm just about to show you that, and I hope you enjoy it. It's sort of been wedding season around here lately, and on the 13th of September, I'm invited to my friend's daughter at West Midlands Safari Park. So that's exciting, and she gave us an invite with giraffes on, so isn't that really great? I think I said previously that my best friend from school got married and I was her bridesmaid back in the 80s. She got married at Edinburgh Zoo, and I met Magnus Magnusson, who used to host Mastermind as the television programme. And the funny thing was, he kept saying I was the most beautiful bridesmaid he'd ever met. That was so hysterical. And I was going, forget about that. Have you got any jobs at the BBC in Scotland? I was so determined to work in television, and I never got a job at the BBC. I had 2 interviews in Birmingham. I was so worried and didn't take my shorthand down fast enough, but I got a job at Central TV, so it worked out well. I actually ended up in television. So yeah, that was that. And lasted 6 years. Worked for the worst woman in the television industry. Typically, say it worked out. I mean, flip. It was hard graft. But anyway, we shall move on, and I'll show you what footage I've got today. It's Sunday the 25th of August, and I'm coming to a family party, a reunion, a get-together. And we're having it near my house, and lots of people are coming from Yorkshire, Surrey, so I'm lucky just to be down the road. And this is in Warndon in Worcestershire, and here is the barn. This is the church, the white building, and it wasn't open when we came for our little party in the adjacent building there, the red brick building. But in terms of the church, I've been told that there are 2 stained glass windows in the UK depicting Mary breastfeeding Jesus, and apparently one of those windows is in this church. This is one big tree. I won't be hugging this one. Here's the final family photo, and I've blanked out the faces just in case people don't want to be on it, but mine's there, and my son and my husband up in the back on the right. So yeah, great turnout. My son David was invited to this wedding, and he's due back on a plane this afternoon. And this is obviously the morning after the party, so they're all having breakfast. Isn't it a wonderful venue? And here's James, the groom, on the left, and my son David. They both did their music degrees together in Birmingham, and isn't it nice that they've kept in touch? These are the grapes from my neighbour's vine, which is growing all over his house. Look at that. Spot the grapes, and his front door is buried beneath all these vines. It's quite incredible. Just popped into our local home bargains store, and I was greeted with pumpkins galore and all things autumn. And I thought, well, I suppose we are going into September. And then there was the Halloween aisles already in place. And then 2 aisles full of Christmas things. So I was a bit shocked by that. I suppose they keep us on our toes and let us know what season we're entering. But I wasn't expecting to see Christmas, I've got to admit. Before I sign off, it's only a short video this week. I don't know where the week's gone. But before I sign off, I'm not sure whether I've talked to you about art and artworks. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I don't. But when I went to Birmingham Art Gallery a few years ago, and I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself, please tell me if I am, I bought this book, Vermeer, about the artist Vermeer. And it shows you all his paintings. And I've always thought I'd love to wander around an art gallery and be a curator. But I know I'd never get a job because they'd say, have you got a degree in art? And I'd go, no. And they'd say, well, you can't do it then, can you? And I'd say, yes, I can remember lots of things. If you want to give me the information, I'll gen up on it. But they would never give me the job. I know you have to be a certain type of person to be a curator and have the qualifications to go with it. But anyway, that aside, my mom bought a painting in a charity shop. I think it was a charity shop. Wherever she got it from, I started to think she'd got an original. I was starting to panic, which it's not an original. And this is the painting. Just come away from the light. Hang on, I'll just move the light away. And it is a painting by I'm not sure if it's Johan or Jan Vermeer. I thought it was Jan, but I think it's Johan. And it is one of Vermeer's paintings, as it is in the book that I've got from the art gallery. And it's called The Love Letter. And it's in this book. And the thing to note about Vermeer is that many of his paintings have a checkered floor and a heavy, thick curtain to the side. And in this case, there's a broom, and there you've got the maid, and the maids are always dressed in brown, maybe with a subtle blue apron. And the ladies of the house, or the mistresses, always have some kind of fur and gold brocade of some sort to show their wealth and jewellery. And this particular, I love it, I do. I love this picture. And it says, the seated woman playing the cittern has just been interrupted by her maid, who has handed her a letter. Gold-tooled red leather runs along the part of the wall of this opulent room, and next to the tall fireplace hang 2 paintings. So you can see those there. And it says the lower one depicts a sailing boat and is possibly one of the 2 seascapes recorded in the inventory compiled after Vermeer's death. The upper picture is a landscape with a track running alongside a wood, reminiscent of the style of Jacob van Ruysdael, I think I'm saying, Ruysdael. And in front of the seated woman is a laundry basket and a sewing cushion for holding her sewing kit. And at the entrance to the room are a pair of slippers and a broom. Now, this picture I stare at all the time, and there's always things I notice. I didn't even notice for ages that there's some notation here, like music notation. And then there's some clothes hanging over some kind of draped over a stool. So, yeah, and you look at the tiles on the fireplace. So there's a lot to look at. And it says here, the main room is viewed through a doorway, so you're looking through, and there's depth there. And it says, the top of which is partly covered by a tapestry drape. On the left wall, in shadow, is part of Bleur's map of Holland and West Friesland. To the right of the doorway, a piece of material is draped over the back of an ornate chair, on the seat of which lies a musical score. The two women may be the same models as those in Mistress and Maid. As in this earlier work, Vermeer has used the presence of a letter to raise the question of the mistress's relationship with her absent lover. In both paintings, the presence of the letter and the concerned expression of the mistress hint at a complicated love affair. Now, the love letter was stolen in September 71, and I thought, oh, it must be in the charity shop that my mum bought it from, until I read on. And it says, while on loan to an exhibition in Brussels, but it was recovered 13 days later. So this is most definitely a copy. But isn't it good the way you can just look into the actual piece? You feel like you're drawn into the actual artwork. And look at that concerned look on her letter, as if to say, who is this letter from? With the seal. Anyway, you're probably familiar anyway with this artist, even if you haven't seen that picture, because he was the artist who painted the girl with the pearl earring. And I did have it, here we are. Famous picture. It was sold at auction in 1882, that one, for 2.5 guilders, less than £1. And it's an oil on canvas, 45 by 39 centimetres, and it's in The Hague. And another one I like is the self-portrait of Vermeer himself. And again, a similar sort of palette, if you can see that. The dark colours and the blues. And one with a curtain, another one with a curtain, I think there's one here. Well, this is called The Geographer. And there's a curtain and material again of that sort of time. And I know they've done The Astronomer, and he's done The Astronomer and a guitar player. Oh, here's a similar one with the floor, Allegory of Faith. And you can see that checkered floor again, and the curtain, which is a sort of a distinguishing feature of his paintings. So let me know if you like any particular artwork. I'm not normally into those sort of paintings, but I always liked it at my mum's house, and she always says I haven't got much, but I do like this painting. And we always used to look at it thinking she's got an original by default. But no, it's a nice painting though, and when you look at the expressions, you can see how good the artist has picked up on what the scene must be about. So yes, I might not be going around curating at the Barber Institute of Fine Arts, but I can still have an interest in artwork, and these books that you buy are really quite good because they actually show you page by page and tell you what was in the what they think was in the artist's mind when he drew them or painted them. And here's one again with a milkmaid. An autumnal scene there with breads, and they can show it depicts whether they're poor or rich just by their clothes. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely week, and the crab apples are turning yellow outside. It's all a bit different now these days, a bit autumnal as we speak. We haven't entered September yet, but we're nearly there. I hope you have a great week. And if you can comment a word, just put Vermeer, Vermeer, if you get to the end of the video, and I'll know that you've actually got to the end. So, see you soon. Hope you have a good week. Bye for now.